I would.
The NBA playoffs are in full swing, so are the NHL playoffs and the MLB season. Well, we're a month in. Where are we now? Sports Talk Live, the last one ever, is right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Talk Live. My name is Hunter Baumgart.
I'm Aaron Morse.
Jeremiah Waite.
D. Reed.
We got a good show coming up for you today, and first, well, the biggest thing kind of going on in the sports world right now is the NBA playoffs, and we gotta start, well, in our home state with the Milwaukee Bucks, who have had the best success in the second round of any team in the NBA, up 3-1 on the Celtics. What's your thoughts on the series so far?
Well, I mean, being a Bucks fan, I think that it's thrilling to watch, just because we haven't been here in this spot.
Yes.
Ever since, was it 2001? And I was
2001.
Yeah.
You guys lost to Jason Kidd and the Nets.
Yeah, exactly. The first round.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they're going to the finals. I don't see a team, the Raptors or the 76ers, really getting in their way. They've kind of proved that they have some deficiencies against, that the Bucks can kind of thwart, and it showed that right away after Game 1, losing to the Celtics big, 25 points, and they've come back and just dominated these last 3 games to take a 3-1 lead, and I don't see anything changing until you get to the finals, hopefully avoiding the Warriors.
Well, I think to make it known on the show, everyone here's a Bucks fan except me, so I'm going to give you guys real stories, real facts about the Bucks and this whole NBA playoffs, okay? I'm going to be the Skip Bayless. Okay, the Bucks have been really good in the playoffs, especially the second round against the Celtics. Paul Pierce, I think he kind of screwed the Celtics over by saying that the Bucks were done, and they've gone off and won 3 in a row. So when the Bucks do win this series, Paul Pierce, thanks a lot, man. You really screwed your team over. So I'm not going to talk too much about Giannis, because I'm sure the other 3 up here would love to talk about how he's the MVP, but he's not the MVP. That's James Harden, just so we have that out there as well. I think what we need to focus on is your bench play of George Hill. George Hill this year is the Terry Rozier last year of the Boston Celtics. And why I say this is last year Kyrie was not able to play. Terry Rozier was a bench player all season until the playoffs, and he comes in and he dominated Eric Bledsoe last year in the postseason. I don't care what you guys say, he did, okay?
No, he did, yeah.
Now this year, George Hill, he's been around. He's been on NBA playoff teams now, with the Cavs, with LeBron, and he's kind of been that guy who he's the structure. He knows what he's doing. He's going to get you points. He's going to get you good passes, get you rebounding. But the last 2 games, he's averaged 18 points a game. You know, some people might say that he's been outplaying Kyrie. He's not having as many shots, obviously, as Kyrie, but he's still getting production, and he's kind of been the Brogdon that the Bucks don't have. Like, that's another fact, too.
Yeah.
You guys don't have your best point guard, Brogdon, and you're still doing what you're doing now. So it's scary because you guys are playing this well with George Hill as your Malcolm Brogdon right
So
now.
Scary Terry has transferred to Curious George.
Yes, absolutely. Curious George is the new Scary Terry. So I don't know if Dave Portnoy at Barstool wants to come up with a Curious George shirt for George Hill. I think you can credit Sports Talk
There's no
Live
way to
with
do that. I was
Right
a
here.
Boston fan. No way.
Oh, that's a good point. And he was at the game last night. So,
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
D, what are your thoughts on this?
God, I couldn't be happier with the Bucks' performance. I tell you, man, I get excited every time watching the game. Giannis last night in Game 4 had 39 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists. He only played about, 27 minutes because of foul trouble, but I mean, at least 12, 13 of those points came in the fourth. I mean, he went out early in the third. He had 4 fouls really early, about 5 or 6 minutes left in that quarter before he went out. He left, came back, and just completely dominated. And I mean, that's what you need in an MVP. He's going to go out there, he's going to dominate, and when he's not on the court, you know, he's going to be encouraging his teammates to rise to the level that he is, and all those teammates know that, okay, if Giannis is out, he's this big player of ours, we have to step up. And I just think that he brings that mentality to that team. Now, Chris Middleton had a terrible game, obviously. If you guys watched that game, you saw he wasn't shooting
But he's
the
an
best.
all-star player, though, still, right?
He was an all-star player. Let's not
Okay,
talk.
Sorry.
Let's not talk like he was just the greatest. He had a terrible game, but I mean, at the same time, from the beginning of the series, I said it right away. The Bucks were going to go up big on the Celtics because if you looked at the first round game, the Celtics barely made it past the Pacers. Yes, they swept them in 4 games, but every one of those 4 games was a dogfight down to the last minute. So I really didn't see the Celtics doing that well. And I mean, when Paul Pierce said it was over after game 1, I knew right then and there the Bucks were about to just make this giant run. And I mean, they've been incredible the entire time. Giannis has been incredible, shooting 48% from the field during the postseason, while James Harden is only shooting, a low 44%. Giannis shooting 57. My bad, I got that wrong right there. But definitely
How
just
credible are you now?
MVP
Can we trust
numbers.
him up here if he can't even get that right?
Listen, that
numbers.
Harden 44% is the highest field goal percentage he's had in the playoffs in his entire career.
Hey,
he has never shot
I'm
over 40%
glad that
in the
the
playoffs.
true MVP is finally coming to play in the playoffs and showing everyone why he's
Yeah,
MVP.
exactly.
Hunter, what about from
Yes,
you?
Giannis
Like,
is.
I know you're a big Bucks fan. You're the only one up here supporting your team, so maybe we can credit what he has to say here.
As far as the MVP race
Oh,
goes?
no, about your Bucks. What's
About
your,
my Bucks.
Yeah.
I think it's been really impressive. I think that with all like the national people, especially like heading into the playoffs, like the Bucks are going to get rolled by the Celtics or these teams in Philly or Toronto. It's nice that they can quiet all of them down. But I think the next round, I think they'll win one of the next 3. I think it would be just a crazy. I think they're too well coached and too well. They have too much depth and too many good players in order to collapse this
Second
year,
half
no matter who it
adjustments,
is.
too. I think
Yeah.
Budenholzer
for
doesn't
sure.
get enough credit for that.
Oh, no doubt
I mean,
about that.
this past game, they're down 2 at half.
Yeah.
They're so
They've been
well-rounded.
down, I think, every half. I think,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least by a couple points.
So they will either play Toronto or Philly, assuming they beat the Celtics. If you are the Milwaukee Bucks, who do you want to play, Toronto or Philly?
I've really gone back and forth through this throughout the entire season. And it has been the 76ers. And watching this series now, I'm almost thinking it's got to be the Raptors. Because really, it's been the Kawhi show. And you see it now with Kyrie Irving kind of being the main guy, even though the Celtics have a lot of different parts that can help them, succeed. But, I mean, the Raptors have really just been Kawhi Leonard. And no one else has really stepped up. We have playoff Lowry returning again. Siakam's a little banged up now and hasn't been as good as he has in the regular season. So I almost would rather play the Raptors because I think the Bucks can shut down Kawhi. Maybe not shut down, but at least minimize him enough to keep them able to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Raptors making it to the finals, so I want to say the Bucks would rather play the Sixers, and I'm still going to stick with that just because Kawhi Leonard is that one guy that can take over games, and you've seen that. he's literally been the Raptors' only player all series long. He's averaging almost 40 points a game darn near, and he's kept them in all of these games, and he's the reason why this series is tied at 2-2. Kyle Lowry is terrible. That's what my rant's going to be on. Sorry, I just had to say that because he is absolutely terrible. As you alluded to, Aaron, Siakam has, been hurt a little bit, so he isn't exactly performing how he was during the regular season. Where's Danny Green been? Isn't he supposed to make a three-pointer? I feel like he's forgotten how to do that. And then, it's just, I think, too, like with the Sixers, their bench play isn't as good as the
That's the one
Raptors,
thing,
which is why
they're not as deep.
with the Bucks, if they were to play the Sixers, they are most likely going to win every game with the reserves in the game. So then it just is a matter of how many points are the Bucks going to win by with their starters, or if they don't win with their starters, how much are they going to lose by so their reserves can come in and still give them their 10 to 15 plus point leads, which is why I say the Sixers. But I mean, I think right now the Sixers and Raptors are pretty even, and the series has shown all of that. So,
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say that, and I thought about this a lot, and at first, I was definitely Sixers all the way. I just think they would be an easier team for the Bucks to handle. But now the more that I've watched the series between the Raptors and the 76ers, I just feel that the Raptors would be the better choice right now. I mean, like you said, you have Pascal Siakam, who, though through the first 2-3 games, he was playing out of his mind, just playing unbelievably, having career games, and now they just let him shoot. They just let him shoot now because they know his shooting percentage isn't there. He's not doing the best that he can be, and like you said, Kawhi can take over any game though.
Yep.
So, I mean, that does scare you a lot with the Raptors, but at the same time, I feel that we have enough players who can come through, make a big difference, and kind of exit out the things that Kawhi is doing. And for me, I would definitely have to say I'd rather play the 76ers, but at this point in time, I think the Raptors are definitely the better choice. And especially, I mean, you don't know how long Kyle Lowry is going to be in a slump. This isn't something that's usual for him. It never happens. So, I mean, I don't want him to do bad this series and all of a sudden pop off against the Bucks. That's the last thing we want.
Yeah.
So definitely, you want to go with the 76ers because I believe that Giannis can handle Joel Embiid all day long, and we have the other key players to handle their talented group of guys.
Quickly, predictions for the finals.
Prediction for the finals, I say it's going to be Bucks Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
Rockets versus Raptors.
Okay.
Bucks Trailblazers.
And I'll take Bucks Warriors.
Woo-hoo.
All right, so now transferring over to the other playoffs that are going on right now, the NHL playoffs. I know everybody has, watched
to say on this
everything. Everybody's watched this intensely. So knowing we have the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston Bruins, Carolina Hurricanes, couldn't get better than that.
Yeah.
So we got that, but then you also got a couple Game 7, Dallas against St. Louis and Colorado and San Jose. So knowing all of this, we got winning the Stanley Cup this season of these teams.
Easy.
St.
Louis Blues.
Blues. So they're
Blues.
going to win Game 7.
Oh, easily. Yeah, Yep. Although they are only 2-4 at home in the playoffs this season, which is pretty
rough.
cool.
That's not ideal.
Yeah, it is not. Which means they will bounce back at home. I have the Blues winning Game 7 after forcing it on the road just the other day. In the Eastern Conference Finals, you said Bruins and Hurricanes.
yeah.
And wow, what a series that's going to be. A series of teams that no one cares about besides maybe Boston fans in Boston.
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, I mean, really, anyone outside of Boston isn't
Yeah.
going to be rooting for the Bruins at all. So a lot of people are going to be rooting for the Hurricanes. Who likes the Hurricanes? I mean, I don't really know who likes the Hurricanes.
All right, yeah. I don't even care about the two teams that are in it right now. Okay, out of the 4 teams remaining playing in the Game 7s, all right, they have a lot of celebrity people that are fans of them, okay?
Sure.
My team that I have that's winning the finals is the Dallas Stars.
Nope.
They're the first wild card
Blues.
team, and you know why they're going to win it?
They're an 8 seed.
Because they have NFL quarterbacks that are big fans of them. Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. Going back to football because I know nothing about hockey, they're fans of them. That's why they're winning the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. They're Dallas's new team now.
D,
not the
quickly,
Cowboys.
team.
I
Winning
would
it.
definitely say Boston Bruins. I
hope not.
Boston
I
needs
hope
something
not.
right
It's
now, and
gross.
the Bruins are.
Yeah, they need another championship. Yeah, that's for
We'll
sure.
give you that. Just give you hockey.
Right, okay, sounds good. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. We got the Hurricanes
Blues.
The Blues, the Stars, and the Bruins. I'll also go
Shining
the
bright.
Bruins, but I'm cheering for Dallas and the Carolina Hurricanes. Anyway, so we'll be back with some MLB talk, which I'm sure will be fun. So we'll be right back on Sports Talk Live.
Hi there. My name is Spike. I like to hang out with my friends and play with my toys. Come adopt me.
Time to go outside. Hi there, my name is Donnie. I'm a real happy guy. I love to play. Oh, there goes the ball. See ya.
Hello, my name's Oliver. Well, some might say I'm lazy, but I love to cuddle. Blip. Cheerio.
To find out more about adoption, contact La Crescent Animal Rescue at 507-895-2066.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk Live. And next topic is going to be, well, we're going to talk some MLB baseball. As the, first month is concluded, everybody about, 35, 40 games into the season. So kind of, a checkpoint through the season as they play about 160. So it's, if my math is right on the air, it's about a fourth.
Something like
of
that.
the season.
Not that
of
we're
the
math
season.
experts or anything.
No, we're all comp studies, and so we don't do math.
Yeah.
But either way, so looking at some of these MLB teams, it was starting at first in the National League. What's some of your teams that you're spying that could get to the World Series so far in the NL?
I think the NL is a league where it's either you're good or you just don't have a chance at all. So if you're looking at it, the Dodgers have a chance in the NL West. I would say the Rockies might have an outside chance, but they haven't played well at all this season, and they're basically playing themselves out of a playoff spot. They always say you can play yourself into a playoff spot in the beginning of the season, or you can't play yourself in, but you can definitely play yourself out of it. And I think that's what the Rockies are doing. So I have the Dodgers, and then the Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers, all from the NL Central. It's going to be a tight race all season. I think all three of those teams have a potential to make the World Series. And then I think only one team from the NL East can make it, the Phillies. And even that, I'm starting to get a little skeptical. They aren't really playing up to the expectations that they had, adding Bryce Harper. They have a really stacked lineup, and I don't know, there's been something going on with that team, maybe chemistry-wise. They just haven't quite hit it yet, and that's the team that I might move out of that. But really, I only think it's the Dodgers. The three teams from the Central and the Phillies have a chance at the World Series in the NL.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, your top 5 teams in the standings, you have 4 out of the 5. The Diamondbacks being the outlier that you didn't talk about, but they're in the NL West with the Dodgers. I mean, you look at the Dodgers, what Cody Bellinger is doing, probably the NL MVP so far this season. Like all you Yelich fans, up here, you Brewers fans, probably want to say about that. But I mean, what he's been doing so far this year has been incredible, as well as what Yelich has been doing. I think, too, you got to look at the Cardinals. I mean, what they did against the Brewers in their last series against them and being able to sweep them. And Ozuna, how he's been, balling out at the plate.
Got that green
crushing
sleeve.
the ball. He's got the green sleeve. I mean, even the pitching, too, for the Cardinals right now has been decent afar. But, I mean, they're getting run production everywhere. And, I mean, if you're scoring 7, 8 runs a game, you can have subpar pitching and get away with it. And I think you're seeing that a lot with them. The Cubs, God, I hate the Cubs. I mean,
Who doesn't?
They have the
hate
best run
Cubs.
differential in the NL.
Yeah.
Do they really?
They do.
After starting
That's
Unbelievable. I mean, how much
2-8.
money do they got to waste
Second
to
best
finally
to
get
the
that?
Rays in the MLB.
The Rays, a team that we're probably going to get to in the AL talk.
Stay tuned.
But, yeah, and then the Brewers. I mean, the Brewers got to figure out relief pitching.
Yeah.
They got to get starting pitching to be more consistent as it was last year. But, I mean, they obviously have the run production. They're going to get runs. They have the power. They have the speed. They have the on-base percentage. So, yeah, it's going to be as you said, NL West, Dodgers, 3 teams in the NL Central, and then obviously the Phillies. You have Bryce Harper. You're going to do something.
Yeah.
God, I'm all Brewers. I don't care about any other team. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Hey,
I
honesty
don't
is
care
good,
about
you
any
know?
other team at all. I think the Brewers, and I have a biased opinion, you can call it how you want to see it, but the Brewers are the best. That is it, and that is all.
Just like the Milwaukee
honestly, the
Bucks.
Brewers in their last 10 games are 7-3 right now. They're
true.
14-8 at home, and they're 7-8 away. Obviously, the away, you're going to lose those games. You need to pick that up, obviously, in the season if you're going to make a big run into the postseason. But, I mean, you're 7-3. Your pitching is one thing that you can figure out throughout the season. It's a long, long season, and that's something I think we can all agree on. You know, there's time to make pitching changes. I'm not worried about the Brewers' performance right now. They're 21-16. It's not bad. I really feel like in the NL, the outlier in there it's the Cubs. I feel like the Cubs are really that kind of fifth team. If you want to, rank them, I'm going to go Dodgers, Brewers, Cardinals, D-backs, Cubs. And I mean, the Cubs, I hate you guys. I don't like you at all. I think Chris Bryant is just one of the biggest babies in the world. So Brewers all day.
What's your
nothing to
reasoning
worry
behind
about.
that other than he plays for the Cubs? Like, do we have a reason
Behind me not liking Chris Bryant, he just complains. I just feel like he complains a lot. For a guy who's
Brewers,
not good,
the
but
Brewers
not that
actually
great.
have the same record right now as they did at this point in the season last year. So
Do they really?
yeah, the same exact record
Not
through
to
37 games.
Can we talk about the better league, the AL now?
Yes, we
Leave
can.
that.
I think
We
the AL
can.
is
And I know
the AL is the same as the NL, honestly.
you're liking your team.
Oh, I really like it. You want me to start? Because I'd
Start
love
for
to
it.
start this off. All right, the second best team in record-wise, not your Milwaukee Brewers, not your Chicago Cubs, but Minnesota Twins. They're back, baby. Rocco Baldelli has got them balling right now, and I am so happy. I love it. They have had all this young nucleus of talent for so long. They finally figured out starting pitching. They go out, they sign Martin Perez instead of Dallas Keuchel. A lot of people are like, why are you doing this? Why would you not go out and get the proven guy? Well, guess what? Baldelli knows and realizes that Perez is about to break out this year, as he's done. He's 4-0, under a 2.0 ERA. You have Jose Barrios, AL Cy Young Award candidate, balling out. Kluber's hurt, so he's the new face of the AL Central for the best pitcher, and I mean batting. We go out and we get Nelson Cruz for a penny, and he's balling out for us, the veteran presence that a young team like the Twins has not had in a while. And now with Joe Mauer not being there anymore, Cruz has stepped in to take that leadership role. And then the best shortstop in baseball, Jorge Polanco, batting over 300, on-base percentage around 600, and he's just killing the ball all over the place. This team is a fun team to watch. If you guys haven't tuned into them yet, please do, because they have the starting pitching, they have the hitting, they have the outfield. Relief pitching is but they get away with it because they score a lot of runs, as the Brewers do.
What is a young nucleus? I'm just.
A young nucleus.
Young-
It's
young
a team that
nucleus.
has a lot of players in
a valid
between
question.
their 24 to 28
It was the
age
Brewers
range.
about 2-3 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
You know, so they finally got some
Yeah.
veteran
Okay. The
presence
exact team.
to corral the young nucleus to get the most out of
I
their
just like the
performance.
word. I said it right there. I was like, ooh, that's
For a last show, you got to kind of put
Smooth.
stuff out there, you know, get the viewers' attention.
Honestly, the Twins, they have been playing well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But they will miss the playoffs. I'm sorry. by a couple of
They
games.
play in the worst division in baseball. You're telling me
Exactly.
they can't beat the Kansas City Royals
The
a lot?
Indians are
The
there.
Indians are hurt.
They have better experience. They've been there the last few years. The Indians will win
here
that
we
division,
go.
and they will not have a better record than the Rays, Yankees, or Red
The
Sox.
Indians are so
who
old.
Who two
Like,
of
they're
those
just
three?
so,
you.
like,
Yes.
we don't
They
need
are.
them anymore.
Let Hunter speak.
no,
Hunter
we
has
don't.
some facts he
But
has to say here.
okay, we don't need the Indians anymore, but that doesn't mean that they won't outplay the
Correct,
Twins through
correct,
the rest of the season.
correct.
But they aren't
Yeah.
the same team that went to the World Series 2-3 years ago.
I
They
agree.
lost a ton of players.
I
They were relief
agree.
pitching.
But
Remember
I-
Andrew
But
Miller?
it's nothing about the Indians. It's about the Twins.
Right,
They
but
will
they can
cool
get
off.
away
They
with
will
it.
cool off.
Well, they're going to have
Yeah.
a spurt where they're
And
going
I
to
think
struggle.
I think the Indians will outplay them down the stretch.
Do you guys think
Yeah.
the Rays are for real?
I do. I really do.
Do you?
They were for real last year. I mean, they
Yeah.
had 92 wins,
That's a good
and they
point.
missed the playoff. They had 92 wins and missed
That's
the playoffs.
true. That's true.
That is a
I
good
mean,
point.
they were one of the
And then
most
everybody just
unspoken
slept.
The AL
teams
East is
last year.
tough.
Yeah. But I think the three from the AL East will make it, just like I think the three from the NL Central. The AL East is that. I think the Red Sox will end up.
But you don't think they're going to beat up on each other too much? Like
No.
that's the thing where you have a league
I
like that,
agree,
or
yeah.
division is you have to play each other. You
Yeah.
That's
know,
true.
60% of the
Yeah.
time. You know, the Blue Jays suck and Baltimore sucks, so you're going to get your wins
Yeah.
there. But
I just don't think there's a team in the AL West that can manage. Mariners are
No, they're a
already
fluke.
cooling
They're a
off. Yeah.
fluke.
Yeah,
The
they
Rangers,
fell off
Angels, and
the-
Athletics are never going to do anything.
Joke.
I mean, the Athletics, I think, had a lucky year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the only teams that can challenge those Rays, Yankees, or Red Sox are probably the Twins. I think for that
they
wild
will.
card spot.
They will.
So we'll see.
So there you go. We'll see what happens through the rest of the months of the season. We'll be right back. When we return, we will talk. we are going to keep going right here on Sports Talk Live. So, in the next topic, here we go. So the next topic is going to be it's going to be a little new game here on Sports Talk Live.
I do love games.
And the game we're going to play is You Pick One. So I'm going to say a statement, and it'll start with You Pick One, and then we'll go down the line and see what we have. We can debate them a little bit too, so don't worry. So here we go. They have not seen these yet, so this is brand new.
Questions.
All right. You pick one wide receiver in the NFL that you'd like to trade places with and acquire the talent of.
Oh boy.
Who gets started? He? Aaron?
Anybody.
Man, if I'm gonna, oh man. Oh. I mean, really, the first guy that pops in my head is Devontae Adams, but that's as a Packer fan. I mean, but otherwise, oh man, I have no idea. Maybe Julio Jones. He's so big, and I think that he's so big and strong. He will get his yards, any game.
Sure.
His issue is getting in the end zone. I can get in the end zone. I'll get in the end zone with that talent. I'll take Julio Jones.
Okay.
I'm going to take Odell Beckham. Reason why, he's been hurt a lot, but he also hasn't played a lot, meaning he's got healthy wheels now. He's with a new team. Why not bring him to my team? You know, Odell, I'll make sure you feel safe. I'll let you do whatever the heck you want. You can talk to whoever you want. I'll make sure you're cozy, you're at home, you're going to get your receptions, you're going to get your yards. You score a lot of touchdowns. That's why you always get drafted in the top half of fantasy drafts. Odell, you're with me, baby.
Oh boy, what wide receiver?
I know exactly where
If you
he's
say
going.
Stephon Diggs or Adam
Yeah.
Thielen, you are a Vikings fan. Let's make sure that's known to all the
What are you
viewers.
saying?
Now,
Which
who's
one?
He's gonna go
Does it have to be a
You better
current
say
wide
Adam
receiver
Thielen.
who's playing right now?
yeah.
Don't
Okay.
say Randy
All right,
Moss.
all right. I wasn't even going to
Yeah,
say
Fred.
Randy Moss. I was going to say Calvin Johnson if we could go back.
Oh, okay, fair
Because
enough.
I like that.
Megatron was amazing. But if I had to pick one
If you say Diggs.
right now,
Don't
I
say
would
Diggs.
definitely have to go with Stephon Diggs.
God.
He's just a clutch player, people. You can't
'Cause of one
teach that.
play.
You can't coach that. You have to be born with it. And that man comes to play in clutch time all the time. He's like Steph Curry back at the 3 with 5 seconds left. That bad boy is going in.
All right, what's
and
your
he
next
is taking
question?
it
We
to
don't-
the
Next question. Adam Thielen's
question.
a better
All right.
receiver, better yards, more tutties, but continue.
All right, here we go. You pick one NBA team to be the GM of in 3 years. So you kind of have to predict in 3 years who would be optimal. If you got
my
one.
Goodness.
That's tough. I mean, I can go first.
Bucks. They'll still have Giannis.
Of course.
They still have Giannis. They'll still have Bledsoe. I think they'll re-sign Brogdon to a max deal. Probably the Bucks. Otherwise, maybe the Suns.
I'm going to go with the Clippers. Reason being, Klay Thompson's going to be there this offseason.
Okay.
They already gave the Warriors a nice little scare in the first round of the playoffs. They have a nice little nucleus there. They're in LA. They can attract free agents to come there. They have all the money in the world. Why not LA? Not the Lakers, because they suck. They have a whole mess of things they need to figure out. The Clippers, your new team in LA.
I'm gonna have to say Bucks, and I know y'all saw it coming. I mean, God, the Bucks easily in 3 years. I feel like they're gonna be still playing at the same level. I mean, maybe a little bit below what they're doing now, but again, they're gonna be the most consistent team in 3 years. They're easily gonna be the kings of the East for I would say a good amount of time with the way that they're playing, and if they keep making
mean,
the off-season moves that they're making,
You'll have the
I
best
mean,
player in the league. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, what else
James
do you
Harden.
want?
he's not better than Giannis.
God, no.
Well, that leads us into our rants because I'm going to talk about James Harden here in a second. But Aaron, we are going to start with you. Go ahead. What's
All
your
right.
rant on the day?
Well, my rant is simple. And stop giving morons a platform in sports talk. And by morons, I mean guys like Colin Cowherd and Paul Pierce.
Okay, so not Hunter Baumgart, Jeremiah Wade.
no. Paul Pierce, Bill Plaschke, Ryan Hollins. I mean, these guys are just, all they do is spew nonsense out of their mouths. Paul Pierce says the series is over after, one game. Colin Cowherd is wishy-washy. What's going on with that?
James Harden is your 2018-19 NBA MVP. Why? As you guys alluded to, thanks for the fact, shooting his best field goal percentage that he's done ever in the playoffs. He scored 40 points a game the last 2 games, must-win games against Golden State Warriors. He's balling out. He's only had 5 turnovers the past 2 games. Everyone gets on him for that, but he isn't turning the ball over. Rockets, that's why they're winning the NBA Finals this year and making the finals out of the West.
All right. I'm going to be the complete opposite and say that James Harden is not as good of a basketball player as everybody thinks because, number one, he gets a lot of foul calls, and he also says that he wants a fair chance, which is just a complete joke, okay? Because he gets a fair chance, and he bends the rules, which I'm all for a smart player and all that, and there's a lot of that in baseball, which is my favorite sport. But he does that in the NBA, and he gets all those 3-point foul calls that people get upset about and everything. He saying his quote was, "I just want a fair chance," and just so you know, he gets his fair chance, and Giannis is the MVP. There you go.
I'm happy Hunter got to go before me because my rant was going to change, but now it is going to be D'Angelo Russell being caught with weed in the Atlanta airport. Listen, man, you make millions. There is no way that you can tell me going back to your own hometown you don't have a homeboy who you could have stashed some weed with to take through security with him instead of having it on your person. You're a huge player. Of course they're going to check your bags. They're going to do anything they can to get a story. That's the media. That's just what people do. You have to come prepared for those types of things, and obviously you hit it in an Arizona can. They're checking for liquids. What are you doing? No one's fooled by that. D'Angelo Russell, you hurt your value. You're not going to get a max contract. You destroyed your reputation, and honestly, your value has diminished slightly. Even though it's slightly, it's still diminished, and I think, you know, you did it all to yourself.
I just want to say something. Hey, stay off the weed, man. Come on, man.
That is probably one of the most idiotic things I've ever read. You can't carry more than 3 ounces
What
of
an
liquid
idiot.
on a plane.
What are you
and hide it
doing?
in a
Exactly.
Oh my. Oh.
Take Arizona can.
Stupid.
Like, what are you
That's the
doing?
real
Stupid.
reason why Magic Johnson got rid of him.
Yeah.
It all
exactly.
makes sense now.
He
All
knew
right,
it.
before we completely go off the rails, this has been Sports Talk Live right here on WMCM TV, our last Sports Talk Live ever. It's been a pleasure, fellas.
Been a pleasure.
And
Sad
we
day.
will, hey, another sports show coming up to you live at 4:30. This has been Sports Talk Live on WMCM.